Hey everyone, my name is Salman Chisti, or Sal. You can call me Sal, yeah, or Salman MKC. And today I'm going to be doing a video about what it's like to transfer universities, especially if you're a student within the UK. I've tried to film this video so many times now, it's been weeks. This is probably like the 5th time I've shot it today. It's past 1 AM, so if I make any weird sentences up, just please bear with me. I'm trying to do this for all of you. And yeah, I'm making this video because a few months ago when I tried to transfer, there weren't really videos available about transferring within the UK. So I want to give back now that I've been through that process and help everyone out and basically make you more informed about the whole process and let you know whether or not it's worth it. So I'll be going into the process, just whether or not it's possible to get into certain universities, what you need to do, and by when you need to do that. So yeah, let's get started with why. So I've been asked why I transferred universities, and I'll start off by talking about why I went to my first university. And yeah, so I was accepted into many universities at with offers. I got my offers, and then I was accepted into Royal Holloway and Swansea, and I basically ended up choosing Swansea, and it was actually a week before going to travel down to Swansea, and like a week before enrollment, my maintenance loan and my accommodation was still not sorted out, and I couldn't really deal with it. It was like I literally couldn't go because of that. And I found out that there was a university in the area. It was like 10 minutes away from where I lived, called the University of West London. So I actually phoned them up after the enrollment date and they accepted me. So I was like, oh my days, this is brilliant. So another thing, like it being 10 minutes away was huge to me, because I used to wake up like 4 AM and to go to high school, like at best it would take 2.5 hours to get just total traveling every single day, but I would take like a 4-hour journey for some of my time in high school. Sixth form, I went to the same grammar school for my sixth form and high school, and yeah, it was just like unbearable. In order to get home as early as I could, I would have to run to catch the train, and I would do that every single day pretty much from year 8 up till the end of high school, unless I had like orchestra. Even after orchestra, I would run to get home just half an hour earlier based on the trains. And yeah, I would get home half an hour earlier, but I would still get home really late compared to everyone else, because I would have to travel into London, and my high school was in Langley, Slough. So it was just, I was knackered, and I would get home late, and I had to go to sleep, say around 10, wake up 4 or wake up 6. So waking up 4 would give me about 6 hours sleep. And it was pretty terrible. It might seem that yeah, you can get by with that amount of sleep, but you know, the circadian rhythms, your homeostasis, you want to make sure you get enough sleep. And yeah, I'm not really getting the best sleep at the moment since it's 1:15 in the morning, but I'm trying to do this for everyone since it's nearing the end of the semester. But anyway, yeah, that the whole student finance thing, the maintenance loan, ended up me being at this university 10 minutes away from my home, but it was ranked like 80th. I ended up being a student ambassador, course representative, and leading the computer science society as the president of the society, and I did a lot of extracurricular things. So the benefit of that university was I was able to go to a lot of tech events, because there wasn't as many days I had to go in, because just the timetable wasn't as filled up because there was a lot of mature students at that university who would be working. So I ended up going to a lot of tech events. I got 9 Microsoft certifications, and yeah, it was great in that aspect, but there wasn't really any research being done, and I'm not trying to slander the uni. It's a good university, but I mean, something I value a lot is research. I potentially might want to go into doing, I potentially might want to do a PhD or a master's or a postdoc, so going to a university which is good in the research side is something I kind of valued, and having lecturers who are doing research whilst teaching is very key to me, because I want them to know as much as they can and be on the bleeding edge of just stuff. And that's something you see in a lot of my projects. If you look at my GitHub, I try to do things which are new, and basically my projects can break in a week or a month from creating it, because the stuff I do is like bleeding edge, and like the SDKs and packages can get outdated. But ignoring that and moving on, that basically explains why I went to my first university, and I ended up wanting to transfer because I got threatened. I was getting bullied for about 6 months, and then I got threatened, and I just didn't feel safe. I would basically go into the society meetings like every single week until the time I got threatened, and I would just feel scared to go in. I would try to avoid the person who threatened me, and yeah, I just didn't feel safe. The university didn't really do much in terms of, all they said was like, if he does anything to me again, then like stuff like would get escalated even further. But I mean, he kept sending me malicious emails. It happened to another student as well, multiple students, and the police got involved and confirmed it was from him. I didn't get the police involved, some other student did, and I mean, the university still was letting the student be there, so I ended up just like wanting to transfer, and like if they weren't going to do anything with him, basically getting him away from me, I had to get away from him. And yeah, I mean, I didn't want my family to be put at risk and myself, and that's not a safe environment to be in, especially if you're a lot younger. So this was a mature student who was like 5 years older than me, so I mean, pretty scared, being like a 19-year-old in university. It's not the most enticing thing, and so yeah, that was my like push to try transfer universities. But I ended up trying to transfer in February, which brings me on to a point which I'm trying to address by getting this video out before the end of first semester. You need to try and apply to some universities by January the 15th, because some of them are very competitive for transfers, and they will limit applications up to January the 15th. So make sure you call universities up and see when the deadline is for transferring, and try find that out as soon as you can, because I didn't know that. I ended up trying to transfer in February. All the universities in London were basically limited, wouldn't let me transfer because they had that cut-off time, so I kind of gave up, and just a few months later the things just kept getting worse. Malicious emails, and it was just like, yeah, I ended up finding out more worse things that were going on with the same person, and things I can't say because confidentiality regarding cases which were being investigated with another student. So yeah, it just got worse. I ended up trying to transfer outside of London, and that ended up with me being here at the University of Nottingham. And so yeah, it is possible to transfer to a lesser group or top tier university if you went to a worse university before. I've seen people ask that question. It is definitely possible. I mean, I'm living proof of it. And yeah, I mean, just like the pros and cons of it is, I guess, for me, I was escaping the bullying, but you're also getting better, providing you're getting a better university, you're getting better graduate prospects, perhaps. And I mean, if you're going to a more research-intensive university like I am now, you get lecturers who are doing research in the field. So if they're doing a lecture or teaching you a module and they're doing research on it, they can give you stuff which goes beyond just a textbook, and I think that's brilliant, because you're basically keeping up to date, and that's the problem with sometimes being in a university, that what you're doing is what you're being taught is sometimes out of date. But I mean, if you're being taught by someone who's doing research, then you're ahead of the current industry in a way, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's one way of looking at it. The negatives, well, this negative, I also see it as a positive, but having a lot more work to do, because you have to make sure you know the stuff that they did in their first year, and that's a challenge. But it's also good because you're being forced to learn more, and that's similar to like just being a software engineer. So I've been working as a software engineer about 8 months now in the industry, and I did an internship in the summer, and basically being a software engineer, you just need to be able to learn fast and adapt, and that's basically what you're being tasked with when you're joining a new university. You're being forced to learn fast, and that's good practice for the industry. So yeah, at least for me, I see that as a benefit, and I just like learning more. So yeah, for me it's great because I've basically got 2 first year courses condensed together, and a second year course all like packed in now, which yeah, it's nice to learn more. And I mean, that's the whole point of going to university. You want to be able to learn more, and yeah, be just smart, you know. That's the cool thing. You're learning more, and yeah, I mean, going to a more research intensive university helps me as well, because I potentially might want to go into research, and being in an institution which is focused around research. I mean, Russell Groups are top tier universities. A lot of them are focused around research, which is great. I mean, Russell Groups are paid or funded to do research, and yeah, that's like the only negative I feel. It's that unless like you're like, some people will say like, yes, you will be losing your friends, but think about it this way too. You're not, if you're scared about losing friends, is also possibly a good thing, because those friends which you're scared of losing are probably friends who are good friends of yours, but you're ending it on a good note. Think about like how old couples can end up going like rogue and like hating each other. Not rogue, but you know, people will say never to live with your best friends because they will end up hating you. And yeah, it's that same concept. Perhaps you're ending it on a good note, so then when you see them next, you can just remember the good times and rekindle based on that, and just keep each other up to date. It's that sort of thing. So yeah, and also making new friends here should be fine. Like when I was in primary school, we'd have new students joining all the time, and I would just love to make friends with them. And yeah, it was pretty brilliant, and like those are some of my like strongest friendships which I think I had. And yeah, I mean, if you were joining my university, I mean, it would be the case, it would be in third year now, but I would love to be like friends with you. And like also at this university, you get a lot of students who come from overseas, so they're new to this university as well in terms of the campus. So like, it's easy to make friends no matter what. You can just join a society, things like that, provided you have the time, but you can make the time, you know. That's the way I think about things. Like, you have a locus of control, and it's either internal or external. The time you have is based on what you make of it, rather than being determined by external factors which people might blame to say they have no time. But you know, sometimes they actually don't have time. But you know, that's that. Don't feel imposter syndrome as well, like thinking that people will be like, oh, who are you? Why are you joining here? I've never seen you before. Do you know every student in your year? Think about how many students you know and how many students you know by the end of the year. Chances are when you join for second year, you might potentially forget people, so you'll know even less. And yeah, I mean, there's possibly like there's unless someone's done like what I did when I learned the periodic table over the weekend, when I was in year 8, unless they've done that, like there's techniques to memorize like memory palace and things, that's what I used. Unless they've done that, then it's pretty hard to know every single person in your year. Like when I was in year 13, or year 12, I thought a student joined our sixth form, so I went to the same grammar school for sixth form and high school. I thought someone joined our sixth form because you get students transferring in, but they were in the same high school since year 7. So I mean, like, I just assumed they were a new person, but like people might just assume like people who are new were there before, because unless people think they know everyone, yeah, that's like it's gonna be pretty hard after just being in university for 1 year. So yeah, I mean, another thing about imposter syndrome, if you've been offered the place and been accepted, then take that as your acceptance. I don't think that you're not good enough, because the academics or the members of staff or the staff of your university or the university that you will transfer to have made the decision that you're good enough, and chances are, right, the entry requirements for second year are a lot higher than just passing first year to get into second year, because you need to prove that you're a good investment. Like I put stuff like, so you need to do a personal statement and things. Again, you need to get a reference, so I got the lecturer which I got involved with research in my first week or second week of university to write my reference, so I knew him on that level. We would have meetings, talk about the project and things, so he knew me beyond just like the module. And yeah, it was so yeah, try to get someone who knows you, so they can like talk about you beyond like just being a student. That's not always the case, but there will be some members of staff who might want you to stay and like try to sell you on the university. Like there's this university which I saw who they mentioned that they're the #1 university in the UK for catering. But I mean, take that for what you will. Just make your own decision, and if someone doesn't support your decision, just find someone else to write your reference. And yeah, it's, some people just treat university like your business and like don't care about the individual, but most lecturers and most members of staff at universities will want the best for you and support your decision to transfer, because at the end of the day, they're there to teach you and to make you a better person. And yeah, if they're stopping you, then like just don't deal with that. Yeah, so yeah, you have to go through UCAS, so that's paying £16 if you want to apply for one university, or £24, so 50% extra if you want to apply up to 5 universities. Universities are normally not supposed to tell you whether or not they will accept you until you've done UCAS or not. The most they will probably give you is a decision, not a decision, but a good indicator of whether or not you will be able to get a place or not, and that's not always going to reflect the true decision. It can't, because they will do an analysis based on your transcript, based on your reference, based on your personal statement, and yeah, it's £8 more, but you're getting 5 times more options. And I recommend, so what you do is you should call up different universities, see what their the standpoint is on you transferring there, then like getting a list of those and then evaluating that list, and then getting that done hopefully before the end of this semester, and then you've got a good idea of what universities will accept you, and then also find out what date they have like to apply by, because some universities have that January 15th cut-off date, some won't, and yeah, so I applied like June, July, and like the London ones wouldn't let me transfer even in February, because of the date they had. So yeah, if you are viewing this late in the year, it is still possible, but it's going to be harder. You have a more narrow selection which you can possibly transfer to. Also, some universities may only let you transfer into first year, so you're basically redoing your whole year. You can treat it like a gap year, or you can try to get to a university which will accept you into second year. Whether or not you want to do that, I don't know. You can just end up doing a PhD at the university if you want to get the name of the university. But I mean, redoing a whole year is putting you back a whole year of getting into the industry. Think about it like this as well. You can use your GCSEs to get into a sixth form, and then your GCSEs are then not used, apart from for applying for some universities. Then you use your A-levels to get to university. Then when you get your degree, use that to apply to your job. Once you have your first job, you use your first job to get your second, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, you're setting yourself a whole year back. You can just get a job, be in that job, and then develop further, and then get into a better company or something like that. It's at the end of the day, it's your decision, and I can't sway your decision, but think about it as well. And yeah, I think like friendships shouldn't hold you back, because you can still keep in touch with your old friends. My friends always like message like every single day, and it's like, it's nice, and yeah, it's pretty cool. We get to talk, and we can meet up whenever there's a holiday and things like that. Just coming up to our Christmas holiday, so I might see them soon. And yeah, it's if you're just even considering, just try phone up universities. Your first year results will be something they will look at. So even if you're not considering transferring, try your best to do well in your first year, because the way I think about it is that you're preparing for second year, because second year will be a lot harder. So if you're not used to first year stuff, second year will be a pain, right? So you're getting used to that, and then you can possibly get a full-time job like I did in the summer, or get an internship and like try to do extracurricular things. So I was on the panel in a tech conference in London, FinTech 2018, presenting to a bunch of businesses. It was pretty fun. And then like the extracurricular stuff, like being a student ambassador, course rep, and leading a computer science society, and just going to a bunch of tech conferences, showing your interest in the industry. These are things I did before even considering transferring. My 9 Microsoft certifications I did were before I considered it as well. But if you are considering transferring, you can consider doing those things. They, I think, possibly helped me. But yeah, I didn't think about transferring, because I didn't think about getting good grades and doing all these certifications and events because of transferring. They were what I did before, and then they just helped with transferring. So if you are not even considering transferring, you should do it anyway, because it will help you for second year and potentially help you get an internship and things like that. And you just want to be the best student you can be as well. So yeah, try your best, and I hope and wish you the best of luck. If there are any questions that I haven't addressed, because I'm sure there are, because it's just kind of impossible for me to go over everything and know what you all want, just leave them down below. If you want it to be a more personal or private question and want to be anonymized, just message me on Twitter or join the Discord down below and ask me. I will be more than happy to go into more detail, and even if there's enough questions, I will do a follow-up video, but if not, I'll just reply, and I'll try to push that out as soon as I can. because I know it's getting to the end of the semester, and like, yeah, it's getting close to that January 15th kind of point. So I hope this has addressed a lot of the issues and concerns people are having with transferring university. I've been asked a lot of questions, and I hope this just helps with that. If you want me to go into more detail about the whole billing situation and what happened with that, if I can get consent from other people about their cases and things, I can perhaps go into doing a video on that. And yeah, I can, yeah, I'll just try my best. Hope everyone enjoyed. Leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know if this is a sort of video, this is the genre that you want me to continue doing. I like doing it. I mean, I've filmed probably like 6 hours on this topic, on this one video alone, and I just enjoy doing it, even though I have to keep retrying. I've filmed it like 4 or 5 times today. But yeah, I think that's it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my social medias, Twitter, if you want to keep up to date. And I'll probably see you in the next video, which will probably be next week, because I'm helping out at an Oxford hackathon next week. So I'll probably do a video for that. I thank you all for watching and staying to the end of the video. Let me know, say if you got to the end of the video, and just ask me any more questions, and I hope to get to them soon. It is now 1:37 AM and I've got a meeting at 8 AM. I need to go, so have a great day and good luck.